It's
when
just
I was
like
10,
normal.
there was a phase where I was badly dressed and the school mocked me for it hard. And I ended up moving. Like, it was rough. It was, yeah.
What were you wearing? A dress?
It was
A lot of kick me signs.
It was like early springtime. So I was wearing long pants and I had outgrown them. And so they were high waters. They called them floods in my area, but high waters, you guys get it.
Yeah.
And it was pretty bad. Like, it wasn't borderline. Like, I could get away with it.
When you sat down, it was a show.
When I stood up, it was a show. This didn't
God.
fit proper. They were wrong. And the kids
You had capris on.
Basically, yeah. And I had some other things that weren't my parents' fault. Like, I was training my hair to go to the side. So I brushed it with my fingers like a lot. And I blinked too much, which was like, I have this mild Tourette's, and people would just like pull their pants up, brush their hair with their hands, look down and blink a lot as a way of like mocking me. And
that's called doing the Woody. It becomes a dance. Everybody's doing it. It's like a Michael Jackson video in the hallway when Woody steps out. Everybody's doing the Woody.
So I talked to my mother about it like years later, and basically what it was, we were not poor. My father was professionally successful.
Yeah.
But my parents were poor growing up. Like, my mother's father died and my father's father ran away, and they didn't have like real breadwinners in the household. So they were frugal, cheap. I'm looking for a better, frugal is a better word. Mm-hmm. So because it was springtime, I was about to switch to shorts and summer clothes. They didn't want to buy pants for me in like April, when I would have needed new pants in the fall again, because you're growing all the time.
Yeah.
And I see the logic in it, but it turned out to be emotionally damaging for me.
So my mom,
that makes sense. Mom spring for the pants. Help this.
My mom was in the school system, so she saw it. She saw like what would happen if you're wearing the wrong fucking jeans or whatever. And like it was easy to be like, hey, we need to go shopping. She's like, yeah, we do. You wouldn't want to get you beat up for anything. We don't give them another reason. let's get some Tommy Hilfigers on you.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember in like grade school how occasionally a kid would just throw up?
Like, that was awesome.
Like, it would just be like you're sitting there in second grade and like learning to read better.
I was that kid
suddenly,
one time.
like some kid just like there was no lead up, no warning. Just Sarah vomited on her desk. Sarah, go to the office.
I remember
put you in some dirty sweatpants.
Go tell that ex-con to make with a kid litter.
Throws up. Sorry.
Wait, a kid threw up on a field trip of yours?
Well, no, every field trip ever, there would always be that one fucking kid who like couldn't take the bus moving around. It would always throw up on the bus. Like, it was a consistent thing throughout all of my school experience. Even in high school, this happened. There would always be that one girl looking out the window, and like teachers trying to console her, like, just pick a point and look at it, and then pick another point and look at it, and just breathe slowly. And like, without fail, they would just fucking vomit somewhere.
We went on a field trip to see how peanut butter was made. Right. And I don't know.
Okay.
And anyway, we go, and it wasn't like normal peanut butter. We didn't see how Jif was made. We saw how like no name, random, like natural peanut butter with no preservatives or something was made. And of course, we all ate the fucking peanut butter, which was dreadful because I was used to like Jiffy or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we get back and I throw up badly, like just
peanut butter vomit too.
I made the most of it. And
viscous.
Yeah, so shortly before I flew through up, like 5 minutes, we had these tables in the cafeteria that folded into the wall. I don't know if you guys saw it. Okay. Anyway, one like fell out of the wall and just landed on the ground. And all the teachers circulated the notion that it scared me so bad, that's what made me throw up. An adult me is like, I think you're dodging responsibility for this peanut butter field trip thing you took me on and blaming the fucking janitor for not locking the table correctly. But the table didn't bug me at all. I assure you. And I'm like, no, it was the peanut butter. They're like, no, that table, that was a loud bang.
What a great field trip.
The worst.
Now, the worst field trip we ever went on was to a sod farm. We genuinely went to a field, and Mr. Mackinson was like, that's how sod's made. You see, end the fucking story. It's grass, and that machine cuts it up, and well, you know it all now, don't you? And it was like, dude, why are we in a field right now? We walked around.
Well, Farmer Malkinson, you've got the kids until 2:15, and it's 9:40 a.m. What else are we gonna do?
You're in Georgia. Start picking cotton, Kyle.
It was awful. He was like, the nitrogen in the soil has to be replenished seasonally. What are we doing out here? We went to
that was a farm. What a boring field trip.
It was the worst field trip I've ever been on. We also went to a greenhouses where flowers were being grown. That was actually kind of cool. Greenhouses are nice in the springtime, but that was one of those electives that I had shown up late for elective day. Like I was a day late to choosing my elective. Somehow I didn't get the memo on fucking choose your elective day.
It sucks.
And oh my God, it was the dregs of electives. So I had to take horticulture and animal science. And animal science is you're an unpaid farmer for the school now, Kyle. Yeah, hold on. With this filthy piglet while I cut his teeth out with pliers.
Hope you paid attention in sod class.
I would refuse to go in the pig barn because it's like, dude, this is first period. There is no way I'm going into a pig barn and like helping you cut baby.
You're the stinky kid in school now.
Then you become the stinky kid, and it like the worst kind. BO, everybody's kind of just accustomed to.
Your mom couldn't pull some strings for you.
This is high school. She got no influence in high school. She's a fucking third grade fucking teacher.
She had no pull there.
My mom taught special ed for a long time, so it was mostly special ed. That's how I got wrangled in on that special ed field trip.
Yeah, sure it is. Yeah.
That was awful. You want to talk about kids throwing up on the bus when you haven't lived until you've been on a bus that a big old fat girl taking a shit on.
No.
Oh my God. Oh yeah. We were driving back from the Tennessee Aquarium, and Tiffany, I won't say her last name, Tiffany, who is the person I was
right now is the shitter.
She's the person I was picturing when I mentioned greasy hair, because that she's just so greasy blonde back in a ponytail, shit herself on the way back. But on top of that, we stopped at a rest stop to eat our sack lunches, and they chose the spot that everybody walks their dogs for us to picnic in. And so 80% of the kids stepped in dog shit and traipsed it back into the bus. Because again, special ed field trip. Nobody's paying mind. You know, they're out there stomping the dog shit for fun.
Yeah.
They can't wait to go to this Indian ceremony.
A big one. They're just having a time.
I had a blast at the Tennessee Aquarium. I remember I had a Polaroid, took a bunch of pictures. I remember the whole way there listening to like my cassette player, listening to Way Down Yonder on the Chattahoochee. That was a good field trip.
Dude, my best field trip ever. Life-changing, man. I've told this story before, so I'll go quick. We had a whitewater rafting field trip. I had this course called 4 Challenges in high school. And I guess one of them was physical or something. So we went on this whitewater rafting field trip. And we're going down the river. We hit something rough, and this girl falls out of the boat. And there's a term for it, but she's on like the downside where the water pours over the rock, and she's just getting dunked and dunked and dunked, and she like can't breathe. And in one of her cycles, and my boat's like stuck, it's not even going, it's not floating down river, and one of the cycles she makes like eye contact with me.
Oh no.
Yeah. And she's like dying, like she hasn't breathed for a good 30 seconds now, 40 seconds, and I'm like, well, maybe the fastest guy on my high school swim team at this point. And like it clicks in my head, like, this is you, babe. Like this is you need to do this. You're the guy for this. And I jump off the boat and I pull her out of the whatever that turbulence thing is called. And she's like,
under bubble.
There's undercurrent. I don't know. But anyway, I pull her out and she's like super grateful about it. And she literally said,
you got to stop clicking that mouse. You got to mute yourself. You got to keep clicking it. No, of course not.
I'm like, I don't realize I'm doing it.
No, the only one clicking a mouse.
I don't know. I didn't took lead. But
I'm talking to our guest. Can you hear me, buddy?
Oh, I can't. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. My YouTube editor was texting me about a thumbnail because I lied about being Pokemon's editor. Sorry.
Yeah,
what did you say?
I'm saying mute yourself if you can. You're clicking really loud.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. For what it's worth, I couldn't hear it. I don't know what other people hear.
I can't.
But maybe I'm old. Anyway, to roll it along, she was super grateful. It was cool. We didn't like bang or anything, but it increased my self-worth.
That's a good story. That's a good field trip.
You've saved all sorts of lives.
Pretty scary.
Taylor, have you ever saved anyone's life?
Never. Not even tangentially.
Right?
Not even close.
It's so crazy. He saved so many.
Yeah. Yeah. Like what I've done. I'm old, right? So I've done some cool things along the way, but the life saved are like way there at the top of the pyramid. like things I'm proud of.
You guys had such cool field trips. I didn't have fucking anything good. Like I didn't have any good field trips in high school. I do remember at summer camp. Cool. At summer camp, there was an epidemic of someone shitting in the urinals, and it was like a big thing. And so at one point it was such a problem that they had like in like the mess hall, they had an announcement to everyone. They were like, they didn't know who it was, obviously.
It was the Indian kid, obviously.
It was actually a white kid with curly hair. I think it was Jewish. But they had an announcement. They were like, everyone, we know who is shitting in the urinals, but it'll be much easier if you fess up now. And instantly, as soon as he finishes his speech, you just see this fucking kid walk right up to him at the front of the room. It's like, okay, well, he didn't really care to hide it very much, did he?
What an imbecile.
Wow.
Well, I think could have gotten away with it.
It was like a
They're supposed to be sneaky.
That you are. Right. Well, it was like a week of doing it though. Like every day you'd go in there, there'd be a shit there.
He's regular.
Every single day they'd clean it, new shit, clean it, new shit. It was just such a problem. I think I probably pissed on it once because there was the only one available. But yeah, it was pretty.
Yeah. Who among us hasn't had to pee on a poop in a urinal at a summer camp?
So poop bandits is apparently a thing that happened in every school. And whenever I'm on Reddit and like someone tells a story about like the guy was smearing shit on the wall, the comments are full of people. Yep, they took the doors. They closed our bathrooms down. Like we didn't have a bathroom.
Shout out to Mike, our poop bandit in high school. Yeah,
shitty Mike.
No idea what that guy's up to now. Bigger and better things.
We got some ideas.
Yeah,
we got some ideas.
He's at an Indian festival.
That guy was all about it.
Is that what being a poop bandit's really about? Is it a scat fetish?
I think it's more of a
domination.
I think more of a Joker mindset.
What if they're not using their poop? What if whenever they go in there and there's poop in the toilet, that's how they make they grab someone else's poop and smear it?
This guy was shitting into
the DNA tests.
Yeah, this guy was shitting into paper towels.
People.
I mean, if that's the case, I feel like there's a lot of preventative measures.
Principal, according to this,
flush.
Yeah,
you could
have
just one
flush.
poop bandit. You have 37. Oh my god, that's like a South Park episode. They misinterpret the poop bandit DNA test. And
dude, the way Mike got away with being the poop bandit at our high school, it was so fucking obvious it was him. And like he escaped and graduated, air quotes, from high school, more like get out of here please. And like him escaping with not being called the poop bandit was like his Kaiser Sose not limping anymore outside of the police precinct. Like it was everyone but administration at that point in time knew.
He must have been cool, right? Like people liked him.
He must have been cool because he's
because he got away with
nobody rat him out. Like if this is a detestable figure, people would tell.
He was like,
he's like Robin.
Only Taylor knew.
I was the only one who like knew 100, or other people like found out about it, but the guy told me. Because I remember I was walking through the sophomore hallway. I was about to go in the bathroom that morning, and Mike and I were on talking terms. He was one of those guys that like keep your friends close and keep the suspicious, eccentric weirdos closer. And he was like, "Oh, Taylor, I wouldn't go in there. It turns out a certain bandit has struck again." That's how he talked. He was like always like laughing to himself, like Beavis or Butthead, and then like telling. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go to the one in the freshman hallway instead. Not good. This destroyed bathroom, because I've said this so many times. He would shit into a paper towel, Tom, and he would write messages on the wall for people, like for the janitors. He'd write like "ha ha ha ha, you'll never catch me." He did that.
And shit.
All right, so I gotta know him. And he would write that. Yeah,
that's crazy. Okay, so he poops in the paper towel, and then he's got like a marker that he's using as a turd.
He was holding it basically and smearing shit everywhere.
I choose to believe he has one of those artist palettes you stick your thumb through.
Yes.
and he has different consistencies of shit. It's like this is that's a modeling poo. There you can have some we're going 3D with this.
Mustard
he was his own little Pepe Le Pew. Yeah,
there was so much like degenerate shit going on in the fucking bathrooms of my high school, like because juuling was a huge thing when I was in high school. So I would go in there and I would just be taking a shit, and then like 7 kids would follow in. Yeah, the vape thing. I would be just trying to take a shit like normally, in the big, handicap stall, obviously, because that's the best one. And then I would hear like a troop of 7 freshmen come in when I was trying to take a shit, and they just all be like, "Oh, let me pass that, let me hit it." And sometimes they would fuck around. Sometimes they would like say to me, like, do you want to hit? And I'd be like, dude, I'm taking a shit. Can you leave me the fuck alone right now? This is like this is a consistent problem. I had people trying to get me hooked on drugs. Well, I'm just trying to poop max.
I totally misheard you. I'm like, dueling was a big thing. Pistols or sabers?
No, that would be cool. There was another shit related memory. We have a lot of those, I guess.
Yeah.
When I did cross country in high school, and there was a kid on the varsity team that would run ahead of everybody during all of the meets, and he would shit in the woods and then come back. That was like his like marker. It was a consistent thing he would do. But he would, I mean, there's no toilet paper in the woods, so he would smell like shit if you were.
Was he really good?
Yeah, he was really fast. Yeah, he was
better have been like to keep that guy around.
Dude,
he was on varsity, so he was good. Yeah,
but there's other people on varsity. You can't run in front of I don't know.
He was the goat. What can I say?
Fuck! I gotta hand the baton to Tony.
Shitty hands. Yeah,
I gotta run in his wake for 20 yards.
Oh, maybe that's
good.
I was thinking they always hand the baton to each other, and I know that form is very important. The way that you catch the other person in stride. What if you were so caked up that you could put it between your cheeks back there, and so you could use both arms and they could just grab it from back there?
I think there'd be a lot of friction going on.
Yeah.
Oh, I see that.
Hot. Yeah, it'd be hot. You need gloves. You're right.
I thought you received it in there, and it's my task to like, you
got
nature's baton holder.
Oh, maybe if you could flick it and like get it to go in there like a ninja. Oh, I see your point now. That's even better.
I wonder if you can throw the baton.
No, because you would.
They told us that immediately when they were teaching us to do it that you can't throw the baton.
There'd be some guy who could hurl that bitch like.
I always wondered if it was like a cost benefit thing. Like, you can save 100, but half the time you're racing.
If you drop it, you lose 10 seconds. It's a real crapshoot.
They were going to drop it. The reason they were doing track instead of football or baseball, or
I think they would just stand in place and throw it.
Can't throw or catch.
That's what I would do. Just throw it like a fucking football and you win. You just throw it 4 times around the track. You're good.
You got to hand the baton off.
Would you trust any of your track compatriots to catch it?
I'm telling you, Taylor, as a swimmer, you're 10,000% right. We all know that we can't throw and catch.
Yeah,
it's just like they're not kidding anybody.
It's so crazy that you had all those great electives. Like my school was we had those redneck electives that I guess like you're like, oh, horticulture's kind of cool. You had a pig barn? Yeah, we also had a cattle barn. We had a barn for all the animals. It's like that wasn't fun though. No one was in. Yeah, I mean, look. You're gonna act a certain way. You're gonna treat a certain way. We were just. No one was like, oh yeah, we've got so many cool barns. like it's great, but you're like, yeah, we had fencing and we had golf. But you had like all those aquatic sports. We had a golf team too, but it was like, how many people were on your golf team?
I don't know. I wasn't on it.
I think we were 3. I think we had 3.
Oh no, it'd be in the teens. I think.
Yeah, there were like 3 dudes who wanted to wear fucking khakis and run off with Coach Moore and do whatever the fuck they wanted. So they played golf.
Run off with Coach Moore, jeez.
Yeah.
That sounds dope.
It sounds a little gay. It sounds a little gay, but it was more like just an older. Like it was a baseball coach.
You're not doing yourself favors.
Wait a minute. It's just an older dude who wants to like be there with you when you have your first beer and your first blowjob, and he wants to watch you closely and mentor you.
He sort of stands behind you with his dick on your ass while he teaches you
all the time, like all the time.
I said golf pranks.
You're like, I've been doing this for 9 years. You can take your dick out of my ass.
This is going to keep your back straight and you're alert at the highest level. When you're playing golf, you need to be alert. It needs to be right at the cusp of fight or flight. This should do that for you.
The bare minimum that we have in Georgia for educators, or at least we did back then. I remember there was this program. I don't know if it was nationwide or how exactly it even worked because they were kind of tight-lipped about it. But if you had served in the military, you could just be a teacher.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, what the fuck? How is this man going to teach it was English, wasn't it? Yeah, it was English. How is this man a fucking English teacher? No, it's history. I'm 100% it was history now. How is he teaching history just because he went to Iraq and got shot in the leg? And he was mean. He was like a 28-year-old fucking big, scary man who got red-faced and angry all the time. And like it was scary. I failed. I genuinely failed that class.
They still do stuff like that. Like you can take industry experience and become a teacher, but I don't hate it. Like
I mean, that makes sense.
If you're going to teach computer programming, I know. It's not an exact parallel. It's like that, though. Like, you don't have to be a certified teacher. But like if you're a computer programmer,
he told us.
Class.
You could teach bookkeeping if you're an accountant, and you want to like get over there. It's not a bad way to get teachers.
He went into a rage at this kid named Jimmy one day, and to be fair, Jimmy's thing was winding teachers up. He would do the copy thing. He's like, Jimmy, this is the last time I'm going to tell you. Jimmy, this is the last time I'm going to tell you.
Oh yeah,
Jimmy, I need you to sit in your desk, and I need you to be quiet while I teach. Jimmy, I need you to sit in your desk and be quiet while I teach. And like, at first that doesn't work, but after like 20, 30 seconds, you could see him just getting redder and redder. And he ran toward Jimmy, and I didn't know what was going to happen. He grabbed Jimmy, desk and all. The desk and Jimmy, he fucking yoinked up and marched him out into the hallway, put it on the floor, and slid him, desk and all, against the other wall across the hallway, and slammed that. We had big, thick wooden doors. I don't know if that's ubiquitous, but it was so loud. It was like a fucking gunshot. And he's like, no! Does anyone else have a problem learning about D-Day? It was just like, no.
You should have gone, does anyone else want to learn about D-Day?
Beat the shit out of me. Break my fucking skull open like a Cadbury egg. Yeah, that guy was way too intense to be a teacher. And like you could see it in his face. Like he was routinely surprised by like normal high school shit. He's like, what? Like he had just gotten out of the army. Like
you were in high school 10 years ago. Why are you so shocked? This is him at 20.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he had been. He absolutely had been. Yeah, he was. And I think we had a lady too, and her thing was she had been in the Air Force, and it's like you didn't even fly a fucking plane in there, like you were just in the Air Force, and now you're teaching us.
You went to an awful school.
It was terrible. You have no idea.
Yeah, it sounds like
most of our teachers
were taking all comers for jobs.
All comers, anybody who would fucking like open a textbook and watch 20 kids for 8 hours a day. Like I said, there was no those other electives like shop, automotive, and welding. We just didn't do anything in there. Like it was just hangout time. It was free period, and you could take them back to back.
I had a big fat teacher who, like, you know how someone who's fat, but they're working day to day, like there's like a strength to their fatness.
Okay,
sure.
Like this guy wasn't that. Not even not even 1% of that. Like this guy's BMI, like he was probably 6'1", 6'2", in the 300s, but there wasn't a modicum of muscle on him at all. And he would come into school every fucking morning, and he would just openly tell us this. And we were seniors, like old enough to be like, but like bullying him almost, where he'd be like, yeah, I don't really drink coffee. He had a really bad underbite, and he over enunciated the way he spoke with his lower lip often. And so he'd say, I don't even drink coffee. I go to McDonald's every morning. I love McDonald's, and I don't even get any breakfast there. And it's like, fact check, lie. And he would, but he would get the biggest cup that McDonald's had in 2008, a 45-ounce thing of Coke. And he would like drink it throughout the first 4 hours of the day as all the ice melted, until like by the time my class was there, it was people would put napkins, and instead of just wiping their fucking drink off, wiping the condensation off their cup, they would like stick napkins to it.
That's yucky.
There would be dozens of napkins every day stuck to this guy's cup that he was refilling with more soda, and then eventually water. Like I actually had it 7th hour, so final hour. And so he'd be like, it hasn't even been soda in here since this morning. And I'm like, just buy a fucking water bottle. Like, this is so like you're drinking it through the same soda straw with the same cup. I can see the stains of the soda on your plastic McDonald's cup. There's 15 wet napkins all around you. There's wet napkins. I hated that guy. I didn't hate him as a guy. He seemed like a nice guy, but I hated that habit of his. And he would close his eyes while he was talking to you. Like, like if
I don't know
if he asked, like, if I was like, Mr. Stevenson, what year did kind of everything kick off for World War II? He'd be like, well, it's a pretty sophisticated question you're asking, and it's actually not what a lot of people would consider. And it would be like, open your eyes, you fucking bitch. Like, look at me when you're talking to me. Don't like piningly muse about how you're going to articulate this answer. You should have just said, yeah, late 30s. Late 30s is when it really got moving. 1933 with the Hitler election. That's what got that shit going. Like, just something like that. I didn't, and it sucked because he was a nice enough guy, but when there's like a really nice person and you don't even dislike them, but everything they do drives you up a fucking wall. That was this guy. Every one of his mannerisms drove me insane.